we're going to take a look at some of the shortcut keys in Reason, as well as I'm going to give you a link in the comments below or in the description below where you can see the entire list of shortcut keys. And these can really enhance your workflow. I really encourage you to dig into this list and learn what keys would help you best. There are so many of them, it's really hard to cover everything in a single video. I actually tried to cover just transport and tool selection and a couple other keys, and I found myself at about 38 minutes and I just couldn't go through everything. It's just so much information. But I will show you the ones that I use every day right here. Okay, so every day when I'm in Reason, one of the things I need to do is change tools. We have over here all of our normal tools that we use to make music. You have your arrow, pencil, eraser, razor, mute, zoom, and the hand that lets you drag things around. These can all be quickly changed between using the QWERTY and U keys. If you look on your keyboard, next to where the tab is, there's a Q, W, E, R, T, Y, and U. If you press U, it will change to the hand. Y takes you to the magnifying glass. T will take you to the mute. R will take you to the razor, which makes sense. E for the eraser. W for the pencil, which you can write with, W, right? And Q to the arrow. There's no real affiliation there. Another couple things that are really handy are the L key, which enables and disables loop. So when you're playing back your song, you can use that to turn loop on and off. Spacebar starts and stops your playback. On your numeric keypad is just chock full of shortcut keys. You've got Enter will play your music. 0 will stop your music. 0 a second time will jump back the playhead to where you started playing your music from. So you could technically move your playhead wherever you wanted. If I want to put it, say, here at 3 and press Enter to play it, and then I stopped and pressed 0 one more time, it would take me back to 3. But if I want to go all the way to the left, I can either press 0 and it will take me all the way to the left, or I could use Alt and left arrow and right arrow, which will take me to the beginning and end of the looped area. So in this case, since the looped area is way to the left, I could just use Alt and left and go there. On the Mac, by the way, Alt is Option. 7 and 8 are skip ahead 1 bar, 8 is ahead and 7 is back a bar. 4 and 5 are technically considered fast forward and reverse. You can see that the backwards, reverse, and fast forward are clicked when I press these keys on the transport bar. You can see them flashing. Reality, though, is that they work exactly the same. They kind of hit the same, do the same thing regardless of what they're called. I'm not quite sure why they bothered doing that, having two buttons that do the exact same thing. Anyway, 9 enables your click on and off, with it on, with it off. If you want to record from the keyboard, just press your asterisk on your numeric keypad. Plus and minus will speed up and slow down your tempo, and your forward slash over there on the numeric keypad also enables and disables looping. One other very handy shortcut key is S, which is your snap key. It basically lets you turn snap on and off, and I use that all the time because basically whenever I'm doing audio, I have to adjust it a lot of times and slide it outside of the confines of a grid. And the good news is once you slide it, if you turn snap back on, it now stays on the grid even though it is not technically mapped to the grid the same way. 1 and 2 will also jump you to the beginning and end of the loop. 1 is the beginning, 2 is the end. If you want to do an alternate take on a recording you have already, you can press period and Reason will insert another track. Actually, it won't show me that with this the way that I have it set up right now. Let me fix that real quick. If I put this right here and I had this track going on and I wanted to do an alternate take, I could go down and press the period, and that would set me up to do an alternate take. It would mute the other track because it's an alternate. We don't want them both to play together. If I press comma, it sets me up to do an overdub. Now, it kind of makes sense when you think about it, because usually a comma would be this and this, that, and this type thing. You'd have separate things separated by a comma, where a period is kind of final in punctuation. So if you think of it that way, that the comma lets you record additional keys, and the period says, I've got the keys I want. I just want to record a second take. So I'm going to hide that first take, or mute that first take, and go from there. Those are basically the really kind of everyday keys I use. There are some other ones. I mean, for example, like the F5, 6, and 7 to jump around to the different parts of the screen, and that you can combine them. So you can press, for example, if you press F5, you'll see just the mixer. F6 is just the rack. F7 is just the sequencer, and you can press them in a combination, any combination you want. So if I just want the sequencer and the mixer, I can press F5 and F7 at the same time, and that's what I will get. If I want just the sequencer and the rack, I can press F6 and F7. And every day, those are keys that I kind of use for my productions. I hope knowing these keys are there will make you curious enough to take a look at the list of keys. It is gigantic, and I mean, I'm not even kidding. It's probably I don't know, maybe 8 screens in length. How many shortcut keys there are, and some of them are specific to instruments and to certain effects. As in, when you're in an effect, if you press this key, it does one thing, and when you're in an instrument, if you press a key, it might do a different thing. It gets really deep, and it's really complicated. But these are the ones that I use all the time. I hope that these will help you out in your productions. I'm going to start using them, and I'll be doing some song composition videos, and I will mention the shortcut keys I'm using as I'm doing them in the future, to hopefully help you build a little more of a repertoire of shortcut keys, and also to show you them in action more than just kind of tell you what they are, which is what I've done here. I kind of just went through, gave you some, showed you what they did a little bit. I hope that was helpful. If it was, let me know in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this kind of content or want more content. Maybe you want different content. Let me know what you'd like to see. Yeah, so I'll see you all in the next one. Be safe. Talk to you later.